So we're currently busy working on our JBL Partybox 520 and Sony ULT Tower 9 videos, but we just had some massive leaks come out with the JBL Boombox 4. And basically, the JBL Boombox 4 is just running loose in Brazil, and I'm actually a little tempted to go down there and get one. But nonetheless, here is a quick rundown of the leaks and when do we think we'll see the JBL Boombox 4 available here in the States. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and run off of what's on Reddit and on some Brazilian YouTube channels. Oi, cara. So first, there's the release. It's a little likely that JBL is going to formally announce the JBL Boombox 4 at IFA 2025, which takes place in Berlin in September. And since we're already seeing the Boombox 4 at some retailers, they might be available shortly after. But here's the really interesting thing. There are reports of two versions, the JBL Boombox 4T and the JBL Boombox 4C. Now, the main difference between the JBL Boombox 4T and the JBL Boombox 4C is that the JBL Boombox 4C is going to have a lossless audio playback and a slightly larger battery. Basically, this is going to be the Wi-Fi version of the JBL Boombox 4, and JBL has done this with the JBL Boombox 3 and the JBL Charge 5, but a Wi-Fi version is also going to mean a higher price tag, and I think that is going to go on sale less often than the base JBL Boombox 4. And personally, I think that having a Wi-Fi version of a portable Bluetooth speaker is pointless because it's just increasing cost for minor upgrades. So personally, I do prefer JBL's non-Wi-Fi version of their speakers because for the most part, both of these versions should sound and perform the same. But for the review video, we're going to get both versions and we're going to confirm that they sound the same. But then there are the upgrades. What's actually new here, and is it worth waiting? Design-wise, the JBL Boombox 4 looks a little chubbier than the JBL Boombox 3. Personally, I'm indifferent, but I do like that it does have a sturdier base, like what's found on either the Extreme 4 or JBL Charge 6. But I still hate that there are no hooks so that you can attach a shoulder strap to the speaker, which I feel would be super useful, like on the Extreme 4, and if the speaker came included with a shoulder strap that also had a bottle opener like the Extreme 4, I think that would be really dope. It also looks like the JBL Boombox 4 has a built-in light feature, but this light feature is having the same problem as the light feature found on the Sony ULT 7. It's tucked away in the passive radiator and it's hard to see, and it doesn't seem like it has a splash effect like the light feature that you'll find on Soundcore speakers. So I feel that this light feature isn't going to be worth using, and instead I'll just use the Boombox 4 with the light feature turned off and just enjoy the improved battery life. And battery life is a pretty important upgrade here on the JBL Boombox 4. Now, I think that these are the tech specs for the base JBL Boombox 4 because there's no mention of a Wi-Fi connectivity, just Bluetooth. But this speaker has an advertised battery life of 28 hours plus 6 more if you were to use it with playtime boost turned on, which is going to lower the bass on the speaker, so it's going to make it sound a little brighter. But more importantly, it looks like you'll be able to swap out the battery like on the JBL Extreme 4. Now, you'll be able to take out the battery, but you're going to need an Allen key to do so. So it's not meant to be swapped out as fast as like with the party boxes. And they do it like this because they want both the Extreme 4 and Boombox 4 to have their IP67 ratings, so they're going to be more waterproof, whereas with the party boxes, they're just IPX4 water resistant. But it seems like the JBL Boombox 4 is going to have that same huge battery as the battery found on the JBL Partybox 520. And to charge the speaker, it's going to charge via the same double barrel AC port, which is good because this way you're going to get a performance boost when you use it when it's plugged in. It's going to get a little louder and you're going to have a little bit more bass. And when it's plugged in, JBL is claiming that the Boombox 4 is going to be good for up to 210 watts. And when it's running off of its battery, it's going to be good for 200 watts. Whereas with the Boombox 3, it's good for 180 watts when it's plugged in. So the Boombox 4 is going to be louder than the Boombox 3 all around, even when it's running off of its internal battery. And it's also going to have a little bit more bass because it's going to be able to go down to 37 Hertz versus the Boombox 3's 40 Hertz. And when it comes to speaker setups, it looks like the JBL Boombox 4 has swapped out its mid-range drivers for woofers. So the question is the JBL Boombox 4 going to sound less open than the JBL Boombox 3, which I think would be a shame. But overall, when it comes to speaker setups, the JBL Boombox 4 is going to have a front-ward firing passive radiator with the 2 passive radiators that shoot out the sides, plus 2 front-ward firing woofers, which are slated to be bigger than the woofers found on the JBL Boombox 2, and is going to have those dual front-ward firing tweeters, which are stacked on top of the woofers. So again, I am a little worried that maybe JBL is sacrificing some instrument separation here for more bass. But if we were to look at the ports again, you'll notice a few things. First off, there's no audio jack, which I feel is sad, but it does have a USB-C port. So it's safe to assume that you'll be able to charge your own devices and you'll be able to use it as a wired connection as well, which is good. But I still wish that a speaker this large and expensive had an audio jack. And you'll also notice that this speaker does not have an input for a wired mic, which I do feel is a shame because a lot of other people just love the Sony ULT 7 because it does have that mic input. And finally, there's Auracast, which is to be expected. So you'll be able to pair your Boombox 4 with other Auracast speakers, like let's say the Charge 6 or an Extreme 4, a Flip 7, Clip 5, or a Go 4, or to any of JBL's party boxes that are also using Auracast, like a partybox Encore 2, partybox 120, 320, 520, or partybox Ultimate. However, it is hard to confirm if the JBL Boombox 4 will be able to pair to JBL's older speakers that are using Party Boost, because the JBL Extreme 4 is the only speaker right now that can connect to both Party Boost speakers and Auracast speakers. So we'll just have to wait and see. But personally, I just really wish that the Extreme 4, Boombox 4, the Charge 6, and the Flip 7, if they could all connect to both Auracast speakers and Party Boost speakers. I really find it weird that only the Extreme 4 can do this. But with all that being said, the JBL Boombox 4 is on the way, and it'll probably be here for the fall with a retail price of $500, if not higher because of the tariffs. And I'm talking about the base model here. Personally, I wouldn't get the Wi-Fi model. I think it's pointless. I'm a little worried that JBL is sacrificing instrument separation for more bass. And yes, even though the Boombox 4 is set to get louder than the Boombox 3, the JBL Charge 6 and the Flip 7 both get louder than their predecessors, but sometimes they do get a little distorted. And with the Boombox 4, if that's also the case, then you'll probably notice the distortion a little easier. I would have also really liked to have seen a mic input for this speaker and hooks so that you can attach a shoulder strap. Plus, if the Boombox 4 had a shoulder strap like the Extreme 4, then that would also mean a bottle opener, which is very useful. But I do like that you can swap out the battery if you want or need to. But if you're looking for a speaker right now in the middle of summer 2025, I don't think that you need to wait for the JBL Boombox 4. There are plenty of other great options to consider right now, especially if you can get a good deal on them. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.